Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Zach. Zach is from England in the UK. So let's see what Zach has to say. Enjoy the interview. So hello Zach, how are you?
I'm very good, thanks. How are you? You all right?
Very well. I'm very well. Thanks so much for taking the time this evening for the interview. Thank you.
No problem, no problem. I'm looking forward to it. It's
Uh,
gonna be fun.
Amazing. So tell me, how was your day today?
Good day. Just got a few different bits done. I've been mostly today. I spent a bit of time writing some songs. Well, just working on some songs. Uh, Doing a little bit of social media stuff. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Amazing. Tell me, do you have like a daily routine that you do every single day, or you just go with the flow?
It's a little bit different every day because sometimes I have gigs. Sometimes what I'm doing quite a lot at the moment is I'm just started my TikTok and I've just started my YouTube up again.
Okay,
Uh, I've just started uploading to that, so I'm making a fair bit of stuff for that, and also, but there's all sorts of random things that I have to do sometimes. You know what I mean?
amazing. Okay, so let's start the interview talking about your career. I know you are a singer, you are a
Yeah,
musician, you are a songwriter, you play
yeah.
guitar. So walk me through a little bit about your career, how everything started.
Um, I would say, well, for a start, I've played guitar since I was young. I'd say since I was 8, I've played guitar.
Wow.
Uh, and I've always liked music. I remember I went in school. I had a guitar, so I had a guitar before I could play guitar. So I brought it into school one time, and I was like, uh, when I was 8, and they said, "Oh, can you play guitar? Do you want to play for the class?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I can play." Uh, and it was absolute. I think I did "Living on a Prayer," Bon Jovi. Um, and I couldn't play guitar, so I was there just strumming and doing all sorts of random stuff. Uh,
Right.
and then moving on from that a bit, uh, you obviously, a lot of people start on acoustic, and then you maybe get more into playing electric a bit, depending on how you go. Uh, yeah, so I did all of that, had all of that happen. Uh, and then I guess I started taking it seriously, uh, you know, a few years ago. A few years ago when I went, I decided to dedicate myself to it full time. You know what I mean?
I
And
see.
and then I'd done the odd sort of gig sort of thing before that, but then a few years ago is when I sort of went really focused. Uh, so yeah,
Amazing, amazing. I think when you have a passion, when you like about something, you know what I mean. It can come anytime. You just can follow it, and suddenly you can get into it and have some time off and come back again. But it's always there, always being with us. That's how I
yeah,
believe as well.
yeah.
And tell me, where are you from, Zach?
I'm from, well, just next to Manchester.
Ah,
So
okay.
the Peak District, uh,
Which
like
one?
the Peak District, like
Okay,
yeah,
I
uh,
see.
Derbyshire, or
That's the
just
place where you're born and raised.
yeah. I was just born just outside of Manchester.
I
Yeah.
see. So tell me something interesting about the town where you live, the city where you live.
I think it's a really nice place to live because it's close to Manchester, so you get the train, and you've got all of that. You've got the
Mhm.
city, but then all three sides of it is the national park.
Oh
So
wow,
so you so I look out my window and there's hills. Uh, Behind me there's hills. That way there's hills. You know what I mean? Uh,
wow, very lucky.
and then you've got one way out to Manchester, so it's nice. Yeah.
I see. And all your family live there as well?
My yeah. So my immediate family, and then my dad's parents, they
Okay.
also live nearby, and then a big chunk of my other family live up near Newcastle and Durham, and yeah,
I
and then
see.
I've got bits of family everywhere. You know what I mean?
A big
Yeah.
family. Okay, Zach. So during the interview, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your life and also about your journey so far, okay?
Yeah.
So before we start our journey within the Magic Box, would you like you to tell me something interesting about yourself, or maybe something that not many people know about you?
Something people don't know. I would say, I think the first thing that comes to mind is that I play a lot of maybe my core music is sort of like you know, it's in sort of influenced, and my big stuff I play a lot is country and blues, and and it all comes together to make it all comes together into rock. That's one of my biggest ones, definitely. And I'd say something that maybe not a lot of people would know too much of is that I listen to everything. You know what I mean? Like I like everything. I can play from all the different gigging experience I've done. There's so much stuff that I play. There's so much stuff that I appreciate. You know what I mean? And as some of the most simple stuff, a bit earlier on when you play guitar, is you've got sort of like folk stuff and traditional stuff, and then you've got current pop. I'm a big fan of Taylor Swift. I'm a big fan of Billie Eilish. I'm a big fan of Lana Del Rey.
Okay.
So a nice mix of stuff. Even a bit of classical, a bit of Glenn Miller. Like big band stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, very good. Zaki, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to it.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box.
Yeah.
So this is my best friend. Run the fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song just for us to relax before the first question, okay?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Amazing. Right, first question for you is, tell us something that you have done that you feel very proud of yourself.
I'm quite proud of a lot of different stuff. I've played to some pretty big audiences, going up into the thousands, and
wow.
not like famous stuff, but you know what I mean. It's right.
Yeah.
And just a few things like that, and then I'm proud of some of the stuff that I've written because I've put time into it. I'm proud of. There's a lot I'm proud about how it all comes together, like all the different stuff I do. You know what I mean?
I see. And nowadays, do you play, like, sometimes you have some gigs in some places, or do you play somewhere local or not? It comes how it happens.
Well, yeah, it sort of comes how it happens at the moment. I do a few less gigs right at the moment than I used to. But I always love gigging. It's always great. And then when I have done stuff, I've done all sorts of stuff. I've done festivals. I've done birthday parties in like all this experience you get. Hospitals, restaurants,
Wow.
And it gives you weddings. It gives you and then bars as well. I'd say the I guess it's like the bread and butter. You know, the main thing where definitely playing sort of guitar sort of music or rock or blues or you know you go and you play in bars and that's where you learn about playing live. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, Zach. Next question is, good question. If you're not yourself, would you like to be yourself?
If I yeah, I think so. I think there's definitely. I guess I'm happy overall with you know the person I am, and there's always stuff you think, well, that's not too great. You know, there's definitely aspects you'd always change, and you just do your best to work on those or just deal with them and not let them. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
yeah.
And when you think about yourself, when you analyze yourself, what's the biggest joy of being Zach? What do you like the most about being you?
I like that. I absolutely love. Maybe my favorite aspect of all of it is taking new stuff in. So like, you know, if someone says, "Oh, this," listening to a new band or seeing a new band live, or try a new or learn a new song on the guitar, or you know, people coming and talking to you about stuff, and you can sort of take in their experiences of stuff, and that's a big thing for me that I really enjoy, and I also love. I absolutely love. This is cheating now. This is a second answer, but I love when you play live and you just sort of merge with the audience a bit. You know, there's an aspect where something really great happens, and you can't do it without them, and they can't do it without you because you're playing the music. But they have you have to get them into it, and then something above happens. You know what I mean?
And there is something about you that, let's say, that if you could change or if you could work on it, that you've been working, and something that you are improving about yourself?
I guess because I'd say overall in my life, I'm a pretty laid back person.
Okay.
But like you know, I don't. There's not a lot of stuff that worries me. There's not a lot. Of, you know, I take a lot in my stride. But when it comes to because music and how I'm doing in music and how I move forward because it's so important to me. That's the place where I get quite a lot of nervousness about, you know, am I making the most of my time? Am I doing the right thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's and I can sort of look at that and go, well, there's definitely some times where it's better for you to not be that worried. You can do, you know what I mean? And
absolutely,
I'd say generally, I'm pretty good at just pushing through it but sometimes there's stuff that you can get too focused on because you want to make sure you're doing the right things. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Cool. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, before the next question, Zach, tell me, as you mentioned that music, you know, always been part of your life since a young age.
Yeah.
My question for you is, do you have still the support of your family, or do you have the support of your family back then?
Yeah. They're right behind it. They're very, very supportive. Very, they're right behind everything they do. You know, they're happy about things. You know, when I do things well, and the same things I'm proud of, they're proud of as well. So it's nice. Yeah.
And which person in your family you are more connected with, you are more close to?
I'd probably say my dad, because you know I guess there's more stuff. Just by both being guys, there's a bit more common ground there and a bit more, but different for different things. I probably spend the most time with my dad, and you know. Yeah.
I see. And you have siblings as well?
Yeah, I have a sister. younger sister.
I see. Okay. So let's say that your dad is watching this interview right now and you have a moment, an opportunity to send him a message, to say something to him. What would you say?
Say thank you very much for the support. Um, just generally, uh, and you know your enthusiasm for what I do. I would almost say that uh, I think I think my mom is maybe a more musical person, but it's my dad. It's my dad showing me this music when I was younger, that and that was the stuff that I really loved. You know what I mean? That's
Amazing.
and that's I've sort of just shot out from there. Yeah.
I think having the support of our family, you know what I mean, in things that we do, I think it's a big plus, you know,
Yeah.
because
Absolutely.
you just feel brave, just feel like, okay, I just can go for it. And whatever happens, they're going to be there for me. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
great. Next question is, what is one food you could eat for the rest of your life?
I love I really love spicy food. So I love like a Nando's or like a really hot curry. I'm a big fan. I
And
could
there's
definitely
some, and there's something that you can't eat or you don't like to eat at all?
well, I'd say not really. I don't really think I'm fussy. I usually just eat whatever. I went away with my friends to Italy a few weeks ago, just for a few days. And when we were there, I had this a bit like a burger, but with just a load of like tripe and all of that in it. And I'm not sure I'd do that again, but it was. I'm happy that I did it and I ate all of it. But I was like, I can't be wasting this. I paid money for it, so I ate all of it. Uh, and my friend said to me, he said, so we're in Florence, yeah,
Okay.
Firenze, and I was sat in this square with this sandwich, and I'm eating it, and the first bite, because you expect it to be a bit, not as nice. So the first bite, I'm going, that's all right, I quite like that. And then by the end of it, my friends saying, what happened? Because I'm like hunched over. There's a little tear coming out my eye. I look like I'm about to throw up. I'm bending over. It's yeah. So so I wasn't too keen in the end.
Yeah, those moments, you know, when you pay for it and you
Yeah.
think there's going to be something very delicious and suddenly it's totally different that you think you're expecting. It's horrible.
Well, I was open to trying it, and I just went in, and then by the time I realized I wasn't too keen, I was like, I can't waste my money, so I just ate it, finished it. Yeah.
Amazing. Next question. Let's do it. Isaac from England. Next question is, which season of the year you feel more connected with and why?
Um, I love that's quite a tough one. I love winter. I love winter. Because I like especially December because I love the whole like just atmosphere of Christmas, and I love, I'm one of those that pretty much early November I'll put the Christmas music on, because I think it's like there's so many good songs, and it's like you lock them off the most of the year, and then you go straight in. I've got a CD player in my room. I've got two albums. Uh, I have an album with Elvis, and it's a Christmas one with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, and I've got Bob Dylan's Christmas album, and they'll get played all the way through, like a few times a year at least. But then also I think when you're inside and there's a nice little amount of snow outside, it's a really nice feeling. It's like a different world, and it's great, and the food, the music. I don't know how to put it. Maybe because it's so cold outside,
Yeah.
but in some ways it feels like the warmest part of the year, like emotionally, and because it's quite cozy, and you know what I mean.
Absolutely. I think I love Christmas. I think there is something about Christmas season that it just makes you feel emotional. Make you feel more caring. You know, you
Yeah,
think more about people. You know, it's
yeah,
cozy. The songs just they're so beautiful. Like listen to the
yeah,
songs all the time. You put on the radio, it's Christmas song. You put on the TV, it's just Christmas song.
yeah.
You talk about Bob Dylan. I can see behind you, you know, a poster.
Yeah.
Are you a big fan of Bob Dylan?
He's definitely one of my favorites. I mean, I think it's interesting. I think what he writes about when he writes, you know, his songs, it doesn't always seem like it makes a whole lot of sense. You know, some of his songs at least. But then when you listen, you know, he sort of tells you about the world, and he tells you about there's a lot you can find out just about how things are, and he gives you, and it's not, you know, I love pop music. I think a brilliant pop song is one of my favorite things in the world. But his songs, if I can go off on a tangent a little bit, his songs uh, are like they don't polish things up. It gives you, even if it doesn't tell you in words, it gives you a feeling of how things are, and so you feel like you can take on the world a bit more. And then with pop songs, it's like you put this on, and it's like being in a dream, and it's fantastic. You know, I mean, there's I like both of them. Uh, yeah, he's a big favorite of mine. There's definitely a. I'm going on a bit here. I just finished I just finished reading this book, um, and it's a biography from the '70s, and it changed the whole way I viewed his music. So because you find out that, I'm sorry if I'm going on a bit, but you find out that you know, in the mid '60s, when he was making all this amazing music, and after that obviously, but in the early and the mid '60s, he wasn't really the nicest person to be around all the time. He was very eccentric, and he's still eccentric. And then you know, I've done a bit of research. I've looked. You're a little bit of a fan, yeah, of Bob Dylan.
Actually, I'm, you know, a very good friend of mine. He's a big fan of Bob Dylan, and I've been to his concert in Lisbon a few years ago.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So some of his I think he's amazing. But what I basically found out from this book is that he had this motorcycle accident in the end of the '60s, and that seemed to be quite a big change in his mindset. And he had these albums going forward that were a bit more mellow, a bit less cutting, and maybe even I I don't know him. I'm not going to speak for him, but you can maybe almost feel a little bit more love coming off him, which is something I like. And
It's
he was turned a bit more into a person you'd maybe want to be around a bit more after his accident. You know what I mean?
it's amazing. I'm so fascinated that you like Bob Dylan because I can see you're so young. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's such
yeah,
a different generation that you are, and yeah, I'm surprised. I'm gonna tell my friends about that. That you know, I had an
yeah,
interview with a very young man who likes Bob Dylan. Wow,
yeah.
amazing.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's one of the best ever. He's amazing.
amazing.
Yeah,
Ready for another question?
absolutely.
Let's do it. Next one. Hey, next question for you is: how would you describe a perfect, healthy relationship?
Um, I think equality in in every sense. As in, I think we're talking romantic, yeah.
Yeah,
So
by
so
the way, then double check. How old are you, Zach? Just for me to.
I'm 20.
Okay, that's fine because you know I can see you're very young. I thought maybe you were younger than that. So
No, no, no.
some of those questions, you know what I mean. If you're
Yeah,
a bit
yeah, yeah,
young, you don't
yeah,
make sense. Okay, so you're
yeah,
fine.
absolutely.
Okay.
So I'm yeah. So I would say you wouldn't want it to be really unbalanced in any way. Like I'd think me personally, I'd want to be with somebody who could, match my energy a bit. Uh,
Mhm.
I'm single at the moment. I don't mean that in a sort of, oh, you're gonna have to match my energy. I mean just somebody who can get on the same level with you. You can, you can talk about things with, give as good as you get in terms of messing around and stuff. You know what I mean? And somebody who, I guess somebody who like it really means something to you that the two of you can be in the world together. You know what I mean? And yeah, just be two people together in the world, and that can be a really great thing for both of your lives. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So tell me, one person to go on a date with you, what this person must have and must not have?
Must have. Um, I'd like them to to have ambition, to have
Okay.
to have maybe ambition. Have interest in things and things that they really care about and they're passionate about. You know, career, hobbies, whatever. But
Yeah.
but there's been yeah something that makes them them. Uh, that's my main thing. I'd say not too serious.
Uh,
Uh, different. You know, open to different ideas about things, and in the same way, like I said before, that's one of my favorite things. I love hearing new ideas, but someone who you can like really talk to without them going, well, I don't agree with you, so I'm not gonna discuss it. You know what I
I
mean?
see. Yeah,
Yeah,
like more approachable, open mind and understanding
yeah,
as well. That's how I
yeah.
see. Okay, 3 questions left. Let's do it.
Okay.
Before the next question, okay, you mentioned about Bob Dylan, Taylor Swift, some different artists, yeah? So tell
Yeah.
me your top 3 favorite artists like ever. That's, for any reason, inspirational or that you admire, could be any reason. Top 3.
Number one is my favorites. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Number one, Bruce Springsteen.
okay,
Absolutely, he's just. I think he's one of the greatest ever. And he's definitely my favorite artist. I guess the one that means a lot, the most to me by quite a way.
yeah,
Uh, and then it gets a bit more difficult. There's sort of a few, but I'd say Elvis,
okay,
Elvis Presley. I think he's, you know, some of the most beautiful recordings ever, and he absolutely revolutionized. And he was, in a lot of ways, him existing and him doing what he did in his career is the reason why pretty much all of the music industry is like it is today.
yeah,
Uh, and everything's come from there in a lot of ways. And then the third is the hardest, but I'd probably have to say Bob Dylan.
Bob
I
Dylan.
probably would go Bob Dylan. Yeah,
Okay, so let's see. One day, wake up in the morning and you
yeah,
have 3 missed calls, yeah?
yeah,
One from Bob Dylan,
yeah,
one from Elvis. Let's pretend that he's still alive. One from
yeah,
Elvis, and
yeah.
the other. What's his name again, or her name again? The first one you said.
Bruce Springsteen.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
have 3 missed calls, one from each other. Yeah, one from each. Which one you'd call back straight away?
Yeah.
Which one you'd send a message saying, "Okay, I'll call you later," and the other one you'd go like, "Okay, I can talk to him tomorrow or another day." So tell me.
I think I'd obviously I'd pick up straight away for Bruce Springsteen. I think he's just, because
Yeah.
there's so many things it could be. I guess one of my dream scenarios would be to play on the stage with Bruce Springsteen. I think that's something probably a lot of people out there's dreams as well, because he's one of the best performers ever in my mind. Um, I'd probably I'd probably get back a little later. Wouldn't be so bothered about Bob Dylan, and that as in, and then I'd probably leave. I'm not probably not be even less bothered about Elvis,
Uh huh.
because with Bob Dylan, I think I guess even if Elvis's music maybe means more overall than Bob Dylan's to me, I think there's so much I would love to talk about songwriting and his views on the world with Bob Dylan. You know what I mean?
I
And
see.
I'd love to. I just love to have sit around a campfire or have a coffee with Bob Dylan. You know what I mean? And just talk to him.
Amazing. Okay, next question is, what would your theme song be if you had your own show?
My theme song.
Yeah.
If I was being if I was being more self-centered, I might say one of my own songs. But if not,
Why
I
not? Could be of why not? There are no right or wrong here. You know, whatever you think is right.
yeah. If we're talking somebody else's, it would be the first one that comes into my head is "Local Hero" by Martin Knopfler. I don't know if you know that one.
The name rings a bell. The name.
Yeah, and it's you know it's a song I'm very attached to. A piece of music. It's an instrumental, and I'm very attached to it.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Two
Yeah.
questions left. Let's do it. Before the next question, tell me, people, when they come to see you or when you are in your gigs, playing, doing your passion, what's something about it that would you like people to take with them when they listen to you, when they come to to see you? What's something that you always wanted then people to take with them?
I hope. I don't. I guess. First of all, everyone's gonna be how they're gonna be. I don't. I think, you know, the audience. The audience is the main thing, and they're gonna decide what they think of you and what you take from it. But I guess one thing that I really like to have come across when I play is having fun and being lighthearted. You know, I like making jokes. They're not always very good, but I like making jokes. I like I like going pretty crazy. Jumping about everywhere, falling on the floor. Um, I like being a bit of a showman, but almost more because from a humorous side, when I'm some of the stuff I'll do on stage, I know that it's very cheesy, if not borderline cheesy, and but I almost just have a bit of fun. You know what I mean? And yeah.
I see. All right. Next question is, if you could go anywhere in the world right now, where would you go and why?
I would go. I'm gonna say I'd love to go to New York, New Jersey, that sort of area, because I mean there's so much incredible stuff there. Uh, Again, it's Bruce Springsteen land. It's where he's from. But there's so much other incredible stuff there that I'd love to take in, and there's probably more in New York than you can do in a lifetime. It's just, yeah.
I see. Last question, ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Last question. But before the last question, as a songwriter, do you write songs every day? Do you need to be inspired? It's about your personal life, or what's the inspiration for you to write your songs?
I think it's very easy to write a song, and it's very difficult to write a good song. I've got I have a little notebook. I have loads of little notebooks, and they're filled with, sometimes I'll write for a few pages, and I'll have pages and pages of lyrics for the same song. My number one rule is I have to be able to not cringe when I sing the lyrics. I have to believe in what I'm saying. So and that's not easy, because that means their lyrics have to be up to, they have to be up to a certain standard, but also I find it very difficult to write or sing about stuff that that's not really true to me. You know what I mean? I can write stuff about situations that I don't know, but I find it a bit harder because I don't know about it. You know what I mean? And so I think I have a lot of ideas, but it and I have ideas all the time, but some of those ideas you don't even start off with because you come back to it the next day and you're like, that's awful. And then some it takes a long time to sort of persevere at and go, right, I'm going to turn this into a good song.
I see.
And you just do your best. And the other thing is, maybe songs you write at a certain time are good songs then, and then not good songs going forward. I think everybody at different stages of their life has gotten. I don't think you get just good songs for everybody. I think you get good songs, and it's all about who's listening to it or who's singing it. Or so a good song for me might be a terrible song for somebody else, or a good song for somebody else might be a song that I don't think I find very good. It doesn't mean overall it's not good.
I see.
Yeah.
Right. Last question is, if you could go back in time in one moment or memory in your life for any reason, what one that would be and why? For any reason.
I think, sometimes I think there's a lot of stuff you do because I'm not very old, obviously, but there's a lot of stuff you do in your teenage years, going back maybe 4 or 5 years, or 5 or 6 years, something like that, and you sort of think, in hindsight, there's a lot of things you would do differently, and a lot of mistakes you made because you're young, and you learn, and it's not to say you still. So I guess I'd maybe go back and do things differently, but it's very easy to say that because everyone does that and everyone learns, so it's something that has to happen.
But could be a positive thing as well. For example, do you have like a memory in your life that was so good, so enjoyable that sometimes you go like, oh, I wish I could go back to that time in my life. Do you know what I mean? Could be any.
So I guess a time I'd wish. Also in that time, we had a lot of good like holidays where you'd go, and it didn't really matter where you went, but the people you were there with another family who you were friends with or something like that, and that's really where a lot of some of my favorite memories come from. Or even just all the time I get nostalgic about stuff that was only a year ago or 2 years ago or what that I wouldn't necessarily think I'd be nostalgic about at the time. You know what I mean?
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some, just one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's start with life.
Happy.
Family.
Important.
Money.
Necessary.
Fear.
Tool.
Love.
Amazing.
Religion.
Good.
Politics.
Necessary.
Friendship.
Love.
Desire.
Essential.
Regret.
Always.
Success.
Addictive.
I like that. Wish.
Dream.
Happiness.
Dream.
One word for England.
Interesting.
One word for music.
Essential.
One word for songwriter.
Difficult.
Interesting. And the last one now, singer, one word.
Inadequate. I'm not the singing's not necessarily my strong point all the time.
I see. Okay. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friend for a coffee. And I'm going to ask your best friends, define Zach in one positive word and one negative word only. What your best friend would say?
Positive. Like to think very, I guess, let's say caring.
Okay. And negative?
Negative, nuisance.
If I would ask the same question to your dad, would be the same answer?
Maybe not. I think my dad might say for a positive. I think he'd say driven. You know, hard work and that sort of. And as a negative, probably stubborn.
Okay, yeah. Good. Yeah. Let's play now, Zach, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Before asking the question, your favorite song of Bob Dylan?
Favorite song? Oh, on the spot. First one in my head. I think it's beautiful. I don't think it doesn't sound very technical, but I absolutely love off his self-portrait album. It's called Wigwam. I absolutely love that one, and I think it's beautiful.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, Zach, you can ask me a question now.
So I think I'm gonna settle for this one. So I've said, you know, one of my favorite things is experiencing new things and hearing different ideas and perspectives, and I would love to almost, what's one thing you think I should try, either an experience or music or a book or a film or TV, anything, food, anything?
Oh my God, I love the question. Look, I had over 1,000 interviews, and nobody ever asked this question that you just asked me right now. You put me in the spot. I love it. Amazing. You know what? Okay. My God, so many things going on in my mind right now, Zach, because, you know, I'm the double of your age, yeah? So I had a lot of experiences, yeah? I think, you know, as you are a musician, you know, you are a singer, you know, you love music. I think if I could give you advice, I think you could, if you had the opportunity in your life, any time in your life, to live in a country where, you know, in a country where they don't speak English, they don't have English as their first language, or they could have, but totally different of, you know, your culture, like in English culture. I think if you had the opportunity to spend, like, I don't know, a few months, or just, you know, opportunity for any reason, you know what I mean, to live abroad, it could be anywhere. I think I would suggest you to do that, because I think, you know, living in another country, you learn a lot, you know, for you as well. Imagine having, you know, get to hear their music, their local music, or the way they play, or the way they sing. You know, I think for you would be something very inspirational for you too, for your music, and also for your own growth as well, your own development. I think I could tell you so many things that but I think for you to, to live in another country, you know, sometimes life is like a university, that you learn a lot. You just need to live it. You just need to go through it to understand. And I think if you had the opportunity to live in another country where you could learn a new culture, I think would be, you know, something that you're always going to remember. You're always going to have, you know, you're going to be grateful for that, because it's something that, you know, you cannot learn anywhere. You just learn living it. You just learn being there. And I left Brazil, you know, when I was 19 years old, and I went all the way to Portugal. I lived 5 years in Portugal, and after I moved to London. So
Okay.
looking back, I think, I would suggest for you to do that.
Okay.
Could be any country, anywhere. Doesn't need to be like for a long time,
Yeah.
but for just for the experience, I think could be something that you always gonna remember and you're always gonna be grateful for sure.
I would love to do that. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love the question, Zach. I love the question. Literally put me in the spot. I love it. Amazing.
Thanks.
Did you enjoy the interview?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah.
Thanks so much. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for come along and share your music, share your experience. I think the power of saying yes can take you, you never know. You never know who's watching this interview. You never know people can connect with. So I think, nowadays, more than ever, social media, it's a tool that, can connect with people. You can share our experience and also, being there, what I mean, sharing our own experiences and also our passion as you do with your music. I think it's amazing to see someone very young and over there just, exploring the social media world, let's say this way.
Yeah.
Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
I'd say absolutely come and do this interview. I think I've really enjoyed it. I've had some really interesting questions that have made me think, and things that you don't always ask yourself, or you don't aren't always straight away apparent to yourself. So I'd definitely come and do this interview if you get the chance.
Amazing. And if you could share a positive message or anything that you live by, something that you believe it.
Always make at least some time to do something that you love. You know what I mean?
That's amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Absolutely. Great. Thanks so much. Regards to your family and friends, and you keep in touch. It was a pleasure.
Very much.
Okay. Bye. Take care. Bye-bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.